While this joint fresh in my head, fresh off of watching this Hector Camacho documentary on Showtime, I said, let me do my review right quick, you know what I mean? Because this was a guy who, my earliest recollections of boxing, I'm trying to tell you, man, I'm glad I came up watching boxing from the greatest era ever in boxing history, the 80s, you know what I mean? There was nothing like the 80s in boxing. I don't think we'll ever see anything before the 80s or after greater than the 80s, you know what I mean? Now, one of the first fighters, and I've said it since I came on these YouTube streets with my channel, I knew guys like Hector Macho Camacho before I even knew Mike Tyson. The first boxers I ever knew was Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler and Ray Leonard and the Durans, the great four of the 80s. First fight I could remember watching as a kid was Tommy Hearns versus Hagler, the war, April of 95 of 85, you know what I mean? But Hector Camacho was a household name in my household, you know what I mean? My Ma Dukes liked Hector Camacho. I loved Hector Camacho too, you know what I mean? That's why this documentary is vital. It's imperative that I come on these YouTube streets and give y'all my thoughts about it. Now, no spoilers. This isn't no spoiler. I ain't gonna give y'all no spoilers, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna do that. You could go ahead and watch it for yourselves. But big ups to Showtime, first and foremost. Showtime is taking over as far as giving us great boxing documentaries, just like HBO used to. Well, now HBO's out the boxing business. Showtime's alive and well, you know what I mean? Hector Camacho, they basically show this life story, you know what I mean? The kid from Spanish Harlem, El Barrio, you know what I mean? You know, over there on the east side of Harlem. Um, you know what I'm saying? Over there, 111th Street, 110, you know what I mean? Second Ave, them type of places. First Ave, on the east side off the FDR, you know what I mean? Hector Macho Camacho is from Spanish Harlem. He's a born native. I think he was born in Puerto Rico, if I ain't mistaken. But the man was like the crowned prince or crowned king of Spanish Harlem. Brought a lot of hope to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people in Spanish Harlem, and they basically showed his life. And they talked about everything from him coming up from the amateurs, what got him into boxing. You know what I mean? They talked about the demons he faced when he became that dude. I'm trying to tell you, Camacho was a superstar, man. I mean, I wasn't even, man, 85, 86, 87, man. I wasn't even like 6 years old, even. You know what I mean? But I knew Camacho. This guy was a household name. If we want to talk about superstars, Ray Leonard was a superstar. Had a little stint when the man had to retire and things. You know what I'm saying? And in between, basically, Ray Leonard and Mike Tyson, who was the biggest superstar in that little gap in there, in between there, let's say from 83, 84, 85 till about 86, 87? It was Hector Camacho, you know what I mean? They talked about the great fight he had with the man El Chapo Rosario, you know what I'm saying? The fight that basically, you know, it changed his style, whether for the better or worse. That's up to you to decide, and it's up to you if you're gonna watch this. I'm just giving this preview to my real boxing heads who love boxing documentaries, and not only that, we're big fans of Hector Camacho. Hector Camacho is in my top three, top four favorite fighters of all time. If you ask me my favorite fighters of all time, Marvin Hagler, Pernell Whitaker. Third just might be Hector Camacho. I'm trying to tell you, man. Camacho, beautiful fighter, you know what I mean? The hand speed, the footwork. Ray Leonard said this was one of the greatest fighters he's ever seen in his life. And this ain't Ray Leonard at 40 years old who fought Camacho. This was Ray Leonard in the mid 80s when he seen what this guy did to guys like Bazooka Limon in Puerto Rico, Mexican first Puerto Rican rivalry. Great documentary, They talk about his demons he faced. They talk to his ex-wife, his kid, his son, Hector Macho Camacho Jr. They showed him as a little kid. It was a beautiful documentary. I can't get into too much about the details, specifics about it, because I don't want to be a spoiler. You know what I mean? I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but this is just my recommendation. If you love boxing, if you love Hector Macho Camacho, if you're a fan of the greatest era of boxing ever, the 80s, then I'd recommend that you go ahead and watch this Hector Macho Camacho documentary on Showtime. Be Marsh Boxley, your thoughts and comments. If you've watched it, let me know what y'all thought about it. I know probably a lot of the younger guys, the younger generation who only come on to listen to YouTube to hear people talk about, the usual BS. You know, people acting like they managers out here saying who deserves what splits or fights not getting made. Nah, this ain't that type of video, man. This is for the people who love boxing in its purity. You know what I mean? For great fighters, legacy. And Hector Camacho, 2016 Hall of Fame inductee. Unfortunately, he wasn't alive to see himself go into the Hall of Fame, but I'm sure glad he's in there. Be Marsh Boxley, your thoughts and comments, and we out of here. Deuces. Peace.